Nailed it.
Here we are, professional streamers, back in action for Tentacle Tuesday, Pendragon's Parish. Let's go around, say hello to our cast and crew, see who everyone is playing and how everyone is doing on this fine bucket day, as is the new branding for today. Let's drop on down to the guns of the county, who makes the buns of the world, Aethelfrith.
That's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Arm wrestling champion of Parish, for now. Shockingly. Aethelfrith is a bakester. She bakes things. She's the bakester for this entire town of Parish. She's met some very interesting people over the past night, and apparently there's been a murder in town. It's probably this cold weather driving people crazy. We best just get it over with and hunker down for winter. It's fine. I'm sure everything will be fine.
And then we have the one, the only, the Grace herself, Sanah. Hi, Susie.
Hey, everybody. Hi, Charlie. Hey, friends. It's very hot. I'm sorry if I'm fanning a lot today. It is like 33 Celsius. Monday. Please, there's an audience. But hey, I'm pleased to Sanah the knight with formerly the strongest arms in all of the land, with my good squire and a bunch of ragtags and the Lady Alys, and I'm looking forward to see what happens today after the spooky events of last week and see if we can get to the bottom, of this weird yeti-like creature that's very tall and big and ripped a man lady in pieces. We'll find out.
She's fair, she's beautiful. She's not quite there, and she might be your sister, Lady Alys.
Hello there, I completely, in character, I forgot to turn my microphone on. Isn't that just super? Hello. Hi, I'm Amelia Tyler. I'm in a half-finished room. Behold, it's not my lounge. And I am really looking forward to playing Lady Alys today. It's a wonderful holiday from any form of sense. And just a little lesson in taking everything terribly, terribly literally.
And then we have a man of God, solemn, devout, formerly a D&D sex icon, Will Jones.
Now in retirement. I'm good. I'm concerned because Tom's already found a way to kill Pruitt, apparently. I don't see him here, so that worries me. But I guess the rest of us are just going to go on this happy little jaunt together. Benedictus is concerned about the people who live in this town. He's never met anyone quite like this, I think. But now there's a murder, and he may know something about that murder. So he's going to try and get to the bottom of it today. And I think we have pets. I don't know if we want to talk about it now, but I do have a pet in mind.
Ooh.
Benedictus plus Brony. Yep.
Plus Brony. Is that his name? It is now canon. Boof.
It's canon now.
So on the subject of this, before we hop up to the murderer, the keeper of the Dark Ages, the man who counts buckets. Before we do that, I do want to shout out, last week we had KP Lantern donate to give us all pets. Those will be coming in today. And also Just Smith, who just subscribed, joining the Chaos Chorus. Welcome in, friend. I've added you to our total, and that retweet number is going up. Soon, sanity loss for one of us. And the person who I think suffered the most sanity loss last week, the Game Master himself, Tom.
It was a rough week. I think, personally, considering you all, I think you went quite soft on me, to be honest. I didn't think you was as chaotic as you could have been. So I'm worried. I'm worried it's a build-up. But we'll find out one way or another.
Everyone is soft in the build-up.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a stage thing, right? It's just like a slow build-up, and then all hell breaks loose.
It's like bacon. It's all soft, and then you put it in the oven, and it rises to the occasion.
Absolutely. And I will do my best to put you in situations for you to go as chaotic as you wish. because I think that's my job, right?
Oh
That is
dear.
definitely what it says on the tin. Orchestrator for Chaos Chorus. This game is fueled by the Chaos Chorus, and we do appreciate all of your interactions, whether that's hitting that retweet button, hitting a clip, or donating to affect game. You can donate crit successes, crit fails, banes, boons, twists of fate, and more. Check out the options down below and over in chat. But before we get into the game, I should mention the other people who fuel the chaos here on the channel, and that's our sponsors. Past Charlie here to tell you about a few of our sponsors. Fantasy Grounds is our virtual tabletop of choice, providing us access to roles, tokens, maps, and more. You can try it today for free at fantasygrounds.com. While you're there, why not check out Fantasy Grounds Unity? World Anvil is a remarkable resource, whether you're a writer, GM, or player, organizing your campaign notes or building an entire world. Get forging today for free at worldanvil.com. And before we get into today's game, we'd like to shout out our friends at Andrews McMeel Publishing, who publish the wonderful game Zweihander. If you haven't checked that out, you can catch it here on Wednesdays. We'd also like to mention Modifius, who manage and produce a wide range of RPGs. Whether you feel like being Dishonored, exploring a tale from the loop, or boldly going with Star Trek adventures, why not check out Modifius.com. So there you go. Please do go and check those out. And if you're interested in a Wild Anvil account, we also have that discount code ENCOUNTERRP, all caps, which will get you 20% off our 6-month and 12-month subscriptions over there. So please do go and check them out. And a thank you to Time for Gifts, who gifted that subscription to Just Smith. Much love, friends. I'm going to hand over to Tom to take us back through time and space. Tom, you appear to have lost your voice in the transition.
It would help if I unmuted.
Before
so
the
it's a good
talkies.
start. It's a good start, this is. Okay, so very quick recap. All of our lovely, doubly characters walking along in a lovely frozen path, got to the village of Parish. There was discussions about some buckets. They all went to bed, and then in the night found a body. That's pretty much it. So you didn't miss much last week, so don't worry too much about it. So we're going to start tonight. Okay. The ice storm continues to swirl viciously in a white tornado of death. The night sky, a penetrating darkness, suffocating the eye of the storm. An eerie stillness hangs in the air, a sharp contrast to the raging gale a mere few meters away. 13 bodies lay still on the snowy, frozen ground. The sun creeps over the surrounding white trees as a single ray penetrates the darkness and illuminates the common room of the tavern, signaling that morning is at last here. Last night, under the orders of Osiric, Bram, and the Knight's Company, everyone in the village was moved to the tavern. Though somewhat cramped, every villager agreed and made the best they could. It was a very uneasy night, with eyes full of suspicion darting from one of you to the other. Now we'll go round and see how everyone felt during the night. So we'll start with Father Benedictus. After the events have happened and finding the body, everyone was ushered into the tavern. What did you do and feel that night?
Well, that night was very disturbing, and many of the villagers were rightly disturbed and in need of guidance. So I stayed up with some of them in a tavern, offering counsel and spiritual guidance as best as I could, all while keeping my eyes and ears open for anything that might be noteworthy or indeed suspicious, particularly any word about Jim and of the poor young girl who died.
Okay. Could you roll me a listen check then, please?
Yes. Ironically, this is one skill that I didn't put much in as a as a priest. I fail on a 77.
Okay. It's essentially the same old drivel that you've heard countless times. A lot of people, as you were trying to get them to speak, a lot of them just wanted to sleep, or they were just so exhausted that they just passed out. Most just didn't want to talk to you. They were somewhat wary of you, and a strange face. You arrived in the village, and then suddenly someone dies. There have been a lot of people just staring at you suspiciously, not openly hostile to you or anything like that, but you can definitely tell they were very guarded when you tried to approach them. A few politely accepted your assistance as they sat there and as you sat with them and talked to them, but apart from that, you didn't get much to do with Jim or Carol.
Understandable. Well, I suppose after a time, it seems like there's not much more to be gained. I will get what rest I can in my bucketless room.
Okay. Lady Alys.
Hello.
What did you do for the rest of the night?
I probably just, I would have hung around where everybody else was, just watching them, as if I was at a zoo of some kind.
Okay, no problem.
Making small talk.
Could you do a spot hidden for me, please?
Okay. Ooh. Apparently, I'm really good at that.
Okay. As you stayed up up the night, you stood up, and you saw people coming in occasionally. Every so often. It took a bit of time for everyone around the village to gather into the common room. What you noticed was that the knights that entered and their company definitely seemed to be with Bram, who seems to be kind of like the elder of the village, the one in charge. Definitely seem to be working together, and they seem to have taken charge of the entire village. And in some cases, were probably a little rougher to the villagers than maybe have been necessary. Mainly the knights. Bram seemed to try and calm them down, but the knights definitely were quite forceful when perhaps they need and should be. That kind of sticks out in your mind of last night. But that's all you can kind of get.
Okay.
Was there anything else you'd like to have done, or did you then fall asleep?
If she'd have seen that, she would have. If they looked too busy to talk, she wouldn't have talked to them.
They definitely look too busy.
Then,
It's essentially they just
it.
push them in and then gone. Okay. So Sanah, what did you do as blood covered your hands?
So, being elbow deep in a corpse is kind of a shocking thing to find in an evening. But nonetheless, in the wake of a horrific murder, Sanah went into full action mode. She headed back to the tavern. She got her whole gear, and she stuck by Lady Alys the entire night like a shadow, as it is her duty and her great quest and honor to guard the lovely lady. And she was basically stood sentry the whole night. Even when Lady Alys retired, Sanah did not. So she posted outside her door and stood vigil.
Okay. Could you roll me a listen check, please?
I can try.
You'll be at disadvantage because you'll be knackered.
Hey, it's an 81. I failed anyway.
Okay. Okay. There was just a lot of hush whispering. You were too far away from the common room to really get a good listen to anything that was happening. Again, I think you were probably just too pumped up and action and like you said, on vigil to really pay attention to any of what the villagers were saying. And you just stayed there till morning, yeah? Okay.
Yes.
Aethelfrith, you were at your home when Bram came with the knights and requested your mother and you to head to the tavern. Before we get to the tavern, was there anything you would like to do at that point when they approached the door, or did you willingly go with them?
I think she would have grabbed an extra blanket because the inn and tavern's only gonna have so much, and it's cold. So just grabbed an extra blanket, probably even just changed real quick into tomorrow's baking clothes, apron, etc., and then went with.
Okay, so when you were at the tavern in the common room, was there anything you particularly wanted to do?
Sleep. I've got to be up early to get all those buns in the oven.
You just right out, was it? Okay.
Baking's hard work.
It's very hard work. The guns show it. Okay. Squire Thorn, what did you do for the night?
Well, mostly I was well behaved, but in, a couple hours after it all kicked off, I got the urges and there was no buckets to be found. So out I went into the dark to find a quiet corner. And whilst out there, I may have wandered towards where the body was found. It's weird how it happens. You get lost in strange villages in the dark, a little candle to light your way, who knows. And there might have been people might have blown out the candle and just relied on my night vision a little bit just to, see what was happening.
Okie dokie, could you roll a stealth for me, please?
I can. Let me have a look at my stat before I go in the rolls. All right, 65 for a success. Let's go. I'm gonna load up my thing.
Okay.
Oh, not on there. I'm not. Come back to me. I'm having a moment. I've got too many windows open.
Okay, no problem.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say you. So, as you head out of the tavern, when there was still a lot of people, kind of like, you kind of slipped away from the crowd as they were going into the tavern, and you used the darkness and the night vision that you're used to. You've been out in the wilderness before for quite some time, and retraced your steps back to where the body was. You see the body. Brilliant. You see the body laying before you. It's, again, you can't see much of the details because it's so dark, even when your eyes have adjusted to the darkness, but you can see the general outline of it, kind of this black splotch on white everywhere else.
There's a couple of things I want to do real quick before anyone notices that I'm here and conveniently have tripped over the body in the dark. Who leaves the body in the dark? I would like to do a sniff test on the body to see if there's any familiar strange smell going on.
Okay, could you do a... They don't have sniff, but I suppose maybe a natural world?
Like a natural world?
Yeah, okay. A natural world.
All right, so 40 is my target.
Okay.
Yes.
You have a sniff, and even the faint smell of the freezing blood is only faint. You can surmise it's because the body is actually freezing, and it's kind of killing the smell a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing seems out of the ordinary. There doesn't seem to be like a foreign or
no
smell
weird
that you
boggy
don't expect.
Smell, no animal smell, just body. All right, and then the second thing I'd like to do is I'd like to scoop some of the bloodied snow up into one of my little pocket containers, pull one out,
absolutely do that,
and just put some of that in, and then stopper it back up, tuck it back in one of my many pockets.
You can absolutely do that. You don't need to roll anything. It's easy enough.
The little icicle from my nose because it's very cold out here.
It's very cold.
Pull my little blanket a bit closer and then meander my way back to the inn. Eyes open for other people, but mostly just heading back.
Could you roll me one more stealth, please?
Yeah. Super success.
Oh, gee, yeah, you are like no one, even Sanah didn't know that you disappeared. She blinked, and you were there. You know, everything perfect. You just glide in. You find the back door to the tavern that's there. And you just slip right in, all quiet, and head where you should be. Okay.
Take my hat off, dust it off, put it back on. Just saunter up as if I was always here. Okay, no one notices little Squire Thorn after all.
So the morning is now here. Everyone is awake, and the common room is quite busy. You all kind of head back into the common room. There is definitely a line, almost like a line between you and the villagers. Not so much, not like, you know, like a wall, but you can definitely tell they're keeping to themselves, even if it means there's a little less room for them. Kale is running around trying to sort out as much food or drink and keep everyone as warm as they possibly can. And Aethelfrith, you are on the villagers' side because you are one of them. But you do notice that Benedictus, Lady Alys, Sanah, and Thorn are now outside, and you can see this common room before you. What would you like to do?
Well, I should probably, being a nice, polite villager that I am, maybe just check on them and see how they're doing on my way to, you know, go bake some things.
Okay, no problem. So you all come out and you see Aethelfrith approach you.
Good morning. Hope you slept well, murder aside.
Morning.
Morning. Sanah is like deliberately not making eye contact with Aethelfrith. She's still feeling it.
I look at Thorn like, oh no, it's Sanah's still mad at me. Like,
how did your motivation go, miss? Oh, I'm sorry, Lady Alys.
Oh, I was just wondering if there was any breakfast around here.
I was having much the same thought.
I'm sure there'll be some soon. I'm getting the baking started. Probably just whip out a few buns real quick, start passing those out. It's a very odd night. Usually we don't all, you know, gather in the inn like that. So
do you apologies? Do you charge for those buns, or are you just giving them out to everyone? I've not seen you charge for a single bun.
Well, the inn pays in advance, and we deliver a certain amount per day.
I see.
A lot of people eat the bread with the food that they get here, and people can come pick some up along with pies and other things. But sometimes we give some out. You know, community's got to help each other.
Yes. Well, has there been any news? I turned in a little before everyone, I think.
I slept through everything after. There's been a murder. You need to come to the inn.
Well, hopefully they find whatever low-life criminal did this.
It's terrible. I couldn't imagine anyone in town doing such a thing.
Oh, you just have to concentrate really hard and the pictures happen.
Lady Alys is right. I got a picture in my head. You know that Gruffin that came with us, who was asking lots of questions. Well, I ain't seen him since. He ain't here. You know, came in all burly.
You mean the older man?
Wide. The older man, no, he wouldn't do anything like that.
With the ones that you think that wouldn't do it, right?
Thorn, he was with us at the tavern the whole time.
Was he?
Yeah.
We all went to our rooms. And then we conveniently saw him running when the cry went up, but that don't mean he was in his room when he started running. It just means he made it back in time to run when the cry went up because the body was found. Because we don't know when the body was done. We just know there was a cry in the night, and then a second cry that said there's been a murder. Murder.
Ouch.
That's what I meant. Not murder. I don't know what I meant.
Take a breath.
It's far too early for all of this.
I was running when the body was found. Did I kill it?
Did you?
I don't know. Is that what running is?
No.
No.
No, it's not Lady Alys.
Well, I don't know. It is a bit of murder on the legs. And the lungs sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
It's
Now,
alright,
when
Lady
I was-
Alys. Sasana's got advice.
I don't have advice. Just
Oh,
breathe.
good.
Breathe.
Oh, no, please.
When you run in,
Oh, okay.
breathe. It's easy. Listen,
Perhaps we should
when I
speak
was
with the aldermen at some point this morning and hear what they've learned, rather than idle chit-chat about bread or running or any of the
Well, I
other
was
things
getting
that
to
have
that
been
bit.
discussed.
What I was saying is last night, when I was elbow deep in the corpse, there was something strange about it. The wounds weren't
Elbow-
caused by
what?
any blade. It was like claw or fang or something. And then,
You are hiding from
Osric.
the corpse, Sanah.
look, it was dark. I was trying to feel my way around. Rib cages is deceptively deep. I don't know what to tell you. Wouldn't be the first time, it's probably not going to be the last. But
Oh.
after we looked over the body a bit, Osric and I found these footprints. They were weirdly far apart, as if something huge had made them.
Like a wolf or bear
Or somebody
something of the
skipping.
kind? Or
No,
somebody skipping.
not somebody skipping. It
Or a devil.
Could be. It was something big and on two legs. So it was no animal.
We were told to protect Lady Alys against the devil on her trip. Maybe this is him.
As a
What
different
do you
kind
think,
of devil.
Father? Can the devil walk amongst man in the village like this? The good village of Parish with its fine buns? Everyone should buy a bun.
Does
The
that protect you
devil
against
can
the
take
devil?
on many guises, but this is troubling news indeed. But it should be looked into further before word of the devil starts spreading around. I wouldn't want people to be any more afraid than they already are. Most likely
quite
it is some
terrifying.
wandering beast that got hungry and driven in here due to the cold. If so, it's probably nearby. Were there tracks?
Oh.
Or did your elbows not pick that up?
There were tracks. Now, we didn't quite follow him because it was dark.
Well, perhaps some of the good men of the village can find some tools and we could venture out, see where it leads us.
It's at this point, Kale, the tavern owner, starts coming across. He's got what seems to be like a small crate. He comes up and you can see like kind of loaves of buns in there. And he comes over and he starts handing them out to each of you. He turns to Aethelfrith and says, I think your mum has got your breakfast ready.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
And he,
curtsy to Lady Alys.
Oh, lovely to see you. Bye then. Oh, buns, how clever. Bun a
And
day
he-
keeps the devil away. Lovely.
and he tries to be as polite as he can with a smile. You know, that the one that only like a tavern owner can come, who's around people all the time. He seems a bit nervous. He seems genuinely nervous around you, and he kind of just nods his head and heads back into the back to continue his work. Aethelfrith, you head to your mother, and your mother's got the kind of stewy broth that you've had the previous morning. And you, it's very nice, very warm. It's definitely a lot warmer and a lot more satisfying than just the bread that the others got.
Yeah. And she makes sure to take a little bit of some vegetable matter out, and she puts it in her apron pocket.
Okay.
She's got a little friend in there.
Okay, no problem. So we do have we have reached the retweet goal. So some poor bastard is about to get minus 1d6 to sanity. Unfortunately, that poor bastard is Father Benedictus.
Good. It was me last week.
The devil is at work.
The devil is at work and it has shaken you to your core.
Oh, right to my core.
Really shaken you to your core. It was a troubling
the lack of buckets, damn it.
Yeah, you didn't have a bucket.
All right. Well,
woke up from dreadful nightmares about being licked to death.
Is there anything else any of you would like to do?
I would like to propose to Lady Sanah that since it's our duty to protect the Lady Alys, and since it's her sworn duty to protect the realm, we should investigate the monster very closely, personal attention style. Because the people of Parish might not know what they're dealing with, and we're much better equipped.
Exactly, Thorn. No cowbell necessary. I think we got it without the cowbell. In fact, you might want to leave the cowbell behind, because it's probably going to tip the thing off. I can hear you coming from about 3 miles, Thorn. Which usually is pretty good.
The cowbell is a most holy instrument. I encourage more of it at all times.
Father, you can get your own squire with their own cowbell. But I'm quite attached to this one, and I don't want it to be monster meat.
How about this as a compromise? Looks between Mum and Dad, who are fighting. I'll just stuff it with a bit of fabric so it doesn't ding unless we need to ring out the devil, Father.
Very good.
All right. Yeah, that'll do.
Okay.
All right, and then Sanah tends to address everybody that's gathered.
Okay.
We're forming a group to hunt whatever it is that killed Carol in the night. Anyone is welcome to join, but come speak to me. And she's there in all her armor and stuff.
Yeah.
She's not a public speaker.
It's very
That's what I'm for.
Okay, roll me a persuade. Just roll me a persuade to see how effective you are.
Persuade. Oh, good. This better be a good roll. Let's go. Yeah. Oh, 22. Actually, could I spend the 5 points of luck to get it to where I need to?
Of course. Yeah.
Done.
Okay. So you stand forward and pronounce this. The room hushes for a moment and looks, and there are murmurings. They're chatting between each other, and some of them are about to stand up when the door to the inn just opens, and you see one of the more elderly knight, who you remember would be called George, walk in with the other young knight, Marcel, who is with Julian. And he looks around. They both look around, and Bram is with them, just a bit further back. And he looks around and he makes eye contact with Sanah. And George starts to approach you and says, "Excuse me, Sanah, could you and Father Benedictus come with us, please?"
What for?
We wish to discuss the night's activities and get to the bottom of this.
Very well.
Sanah just gives this sort of wary look to Thorn, the kind of look that says, "Be on your guard, kid." and then follows.
Okay, so they step aside to let both of you out. Do you go out?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so you both head out, and the two knights start to head out and close the door. Is anyone else going to do anything at this time, or are they going to stay put?
I'd like to say a quick thank you to Kitchen Bratland, who donates a crit success for Will. That's on the overlay right now.
Okay, so they escort you just across the village. It's a short walk. Your feet softly, you know, that lovely crunch of fresh snow as you go on. It's really nice. The sun is out. It's a brisk but beautiful sunny day. It's picturesque that all the whites on everything. It would be great if there wasn't a murder the previous night. And you approach this house. It's not particularly big, but it's an okay size. And you can see the young boy who's a servant there, Harry. He's kind of like scrubbing some boots on the outside, trying to get them clean. And George opens the door for you to let you in, and you walk in. You can see Julian. He's standing there in his full kit before you. He seems to be kind of like thumbing through a book. Bram is also there. He walks in with you, but the two knights stay outside, and the door is shut. Inside, it's a very simple house. It's got like a basic room with very basic, furniture, like some tables. There's a pot over a fire. There is an additional room that goes off to the left. There's no door to it, but you can see it goes into another room. And there is a small window, and when I say window, I mean a hole in the wall, just to the right of the door. And he pauses and he closes the book and places his hand on it and turns. Thank you for coming here. Please, have a seat. And he kind of wanders around.
Yeah, take a seat.
And he places the book down onto the table, and Benedictus, you can see it is a holy book. It is a Bible, or what you would assume is. It looks very much looks like religious scriptures. And he turns and looks to each of you. I would like to ask you some questions about last night, if you do not mind.
I will answer to the best of my abilities, though I do not speak for our friend here.
I'll answer honest and true.
Could you, just through your own words, go through what happened last night?
Sanah waits for the father to speak first.
Well, it was a particularly cold night, if I recall. That is myself, Sanah, the Squire, Lady Alys, and the baker, with an impronounceable name, just vowels almost, had shared some words together, getting to know one another, going in the same direction. And there was the alderman there, Osric, came in, had a brief conversation with him. There was some discussion of the number of buckets available, nothing out of the ordinary. And then I retired sometime into the evening. It was when I was awoken by a scream, and followed by several shouts, I think. And I saw Osric. We headed out together. Lady Alys is there too. I was not first there, somewhat slower, as you can see, and I kind of nod towards the stick that I used to walk with. And there was the body of Carol. She was dead. God rest her soul.
He nods in respect and in prayer. And his eyes turn to Sanah.
Yeah.
She kind of like shrugs. This is one of my stories, very similar to the Good Fathers here. Came into town earlier in the day with the good Lady Alys and my young Squire Thorn, and we posted up at the tavern, met some of the townsfolk, retired for the evening, and there was a scream. I ran out with my sword and shield in case anybody needed any help, and unfortunately, there's a villager dead in the street. Her innards ripped open, her body mutilated, and strange tracks leading off out of the village.
He nods. Were you the first ones there?
I believe so, yeah.
See. And have either of you seen anything like this before?
Not in
Can't
all
say I
of
ever
my
had.
years.
It is as I feared. And he gets up and he kind of goes to the window and he does that look out, that, you know, the troubling kind of look out.
Do you know something?
Perhaps. We were sent here by the church to investigate certain... and he looks to Bram, heretical activities. And Bram, he kind of looks a bit shocked. He's... but he continues. We need to figure out whether this is just a simple murder of a few peasants or something greater. You two, one being a knight of the realm and one being a father of the church, I thought it only right to talk to you two first. I need your help.
Well, my friend, I am no warrior. I'm a simple man on my way to Rome.
But you are an educated man, a man of God. And I feel at this moment we need to be closer to God than ever.
Amen.
What I need you to do is to see what you can find out. Let you explore the village. See if you can find anything to see if it is a person or a beast that we hunt. And then we will hunt it and kill it. But we must keep the villages under control. We are few, and they are many. Do you understand?
I do, but I'll say again, I'm not sure I can really help in this matter. I have no deep insight into this heresy that you are seeking, and if anything, I might slow them all down. But I really must be on my way to Rome.
I understand, Father, that you wish to go. The judge went out, tried to track this thing. The surrounding area is covered in dense snow. I am sorry, Father, but you are not going anywhere until this thaws.
Then it would seem as though God has put me on this path to help you.
I believe that too.
I will spend as much time as I can before I must move on in whatever capacity I can assist with, but perhaps you can tell us more about this suspected heresy. seems as though you know a little more than you're telling us.
Alas, it is not as much as we thought. Some reports of pagan activity. Something in the woods. We,
You think
unfortunately,
the villagers know of this?
we have not had a chance to talk to the villagers yet, but we plan to interrogate each and every one of them throughout the day and see what they have to offer. Then we will see if there are any pagan or heretical activities in the area, and then we will remove them.
Very good.
Is there anything else that either of you can tell me, perhaps about Carol or what happened last night?
She was troubled. Really, as much as I was able to glean in my short time here yesterday, something to do with her husband, Jim. I managed to have a brief conversation with him, but he didn't seem to know what I was talking about.
Jim?
I went into the tavern, and then she was dead that night.
Then we must talk to this Jim, Bram. And Bram kind of like wakes up a little bit, shocked that he's been... yes, we will talk to this Jim. Where is he? Get him from the tavern. And he kind of nods and heads off to get Jim from the tavern.
I will say, Sir George, that from what I saw of the body and the tracks I saw last night, we're after a beast.
Is that for... I think Sir George just left. Julian?
Oh, Bram, whoever's still here. Yeah.
Okay, all right, no problem. Yeah. He nods. What type of beast are you talking about? A bear, wolf?
Something big, strong, on two legs, and capable of ripping a woman from navel to neck.
I have not heard of such a beast that can do
And
this.
disappear back into the night without being seen.
Exactly.
Perhaps the devil is at work here.
It's intelligent, probably.
All the more
And why
reason
her?
that-
Random, or had it been...
I think we need to search Carol's house, don't you?
Well, you are in it. We decided to take over Carol's house. It was empty. I thought it was the right thing to do.
Quite.
Her room is just over there, if you wish to investigate.
So now, am I to understand that this investigation has the full backing of the church?
It has the full backing of this company, so yes.
Good. Well, there's naught else to do, seeing as we're snowed in. Shall we take a look?
Of course.
Let's go ransack a dead woman's bedroom. Sanah gets up and stretches a bit.
Okay, and you head into that room. Back at the tavern.
Jim's being arrested and beaten to death.
Well done. Aethelfrith, you've
Yes.
tried to leave, but they're not letting you leave. Essentially, everyone is confined to the tavern at the moment.
But what about fresh bread?
The knight who is currently guarding,
The older men wanted honey wheat.
He shrugs and just tells you to please head back inside.
Fine. I stomp.
Okay. You stomp. So Aethelfrith, Lady Alys, and Thorn, is there anything you particularly would like to do at the tavern while Sanah and Father Benedictus have gone?
I'd just be cozying up with whoever looked like they wanted to chat.
Okay.
Certainly if Aethelfrith came in looking sad.
Oh, yeah, she looks sad. Well, and annoyed, I would imagine.
Very annoyed.
Yeah.
Who are these people to stop her from baking?
Oh gosh, Bun Lady, why are you so cross? Why so stompy?
These knights won't let me over across the street to get today's bread baking done. The older man wanted honey wheat. How am I supposed to get honey wheat bread made if I can't go bake? There's
Is this a
no dead
riddle?
people in the baker's shop.
Oh gosh, that does sound very difficult. You poor thing. Sort of pat her on the arm. Oh gosh, aren't you? Gosh, that just doesn't move at all, does it?
She's very sturdy. There's a little bit of squish, but underneath it's just rock hard. She's plump, but she's strong.
Oh, that must be very difficult for you, though.
I don't think there's been a day where I haven't baked bread since I was about this tall.
Oh, do they let you when you're that small?
You got to start learning early.
Oh,
You got to build up strength, you know. Buns are heavy. It's a lot of lifting
Are they?
and kneading.
Oh,
You got to start get that hand strength up.
oh, maybe that's what I've been doing wrong. Are you? Would you like some help? Oh, yes. Here, and I pull a bag from under one of my skirts. Yeah. Whenever I'm feeling like I'm overwhelmed by the world, I just let the Lord guide me and provide me with what I need. And I open it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Roll,
No looking.
Roll me a d6, please.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay.
We're just. Oh yeah. It's a 4.
Okay, you got the Sword of Virtue. So you pull this out, Lady Alys, and to your eye, this is a exquisitely carved sword. It's clay, right? It's all clay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's like
I made
this
it
clay
personally.
sculpture of a sword. It's beautiful. It's very smooth. There's little kind of etchings, kind of like in the hilt of it. Beautifully decorated, and it stands for like innocence and standing strong in time of strife. Aethelfrith, you see Lady Alys pull out like a cot-shaped clay thing. It just looks like a dick.
I haven't seen many of those.
It's the massive sword. It's terribly lucky for incoming combat and protection, that sort of thing. Give it a rub.
Oh, what?
It's for luck.
I think she looks around to see if anyone's noticed that she's whipped out this tiny clay dick.
I think you catch that Thorn's kind of turned back to check on Lady Alys and is watching with extreme amusement to see what you're going to do next, because I imagine she's seen Lady Alys's sword before.
I think no one's looking. She just puts her hands over Lady Alys's to like not let it show. Be like, thank you, Lady Alys. I feel a whole lot different now. I was angry before, but now it's just a whole different feeling.
Oh gosh, did I help? Oh, how lovely.
Yes.
Oh, I feel splendid too now.
Oh, wonderful.
Pop it
That's
back in the
good.
bag.
There you
Isn't it wonderful the way life just gives you exactly what you need at the right moment?
go. Isn't it funny? Yes.
And if you ever need anything else and you're feeling overwhelmed again, I'd love to help you out.
I will let you
Just
know.
let me know. Yes.
Mhm. Thank
And
you,
I'll,
Lady
I'll let you
Alys.
reach
So
in and you
benevolent
can pull
of you.
out something else to help you.
Noted. I'll keep that in mind.
I put the bag away and turn to Thorn and go, I helped.
Yes, you did, miss. Good job. Wonderful, your bag of tricks.
Isn't it?
I would like one myself one day.
Oh, are you feeling overwhelmed as well? Would you like a rub?
Well, I wouldn't say no. I am performing a very exact little thing here, and luck is always welcome. Hand goes backwards, like an awkward angle, like young people can do and old people can't.
Okay, Charlie, roll me a 1d6.
Ooh, okay. At this point, I do want to say a massive thank you to Kai Hawkeye, who did donate at the start of the show, and I missed it, to give us all big crits. So those are all up on the overlay right now for us.
Thank you.
Including you, Tom, because that's how we roll here on a kind of roleplay. A 6!
Okay. You pull out this clay figurine. To Lady Alys's eyes, this is the tower. It's about fortitude. It's about being strong and resilient. It's quite squared. You can quite clearly see that you certainly have kind of etched in, every little bit of stone into this clay. It's even got kind of like a triangular top, like the curve of like kind of like a tower on the top. Thorn, you pull out another dick with veins.
Oh, gosh. You got the tall tower.
It's very tall.
It's all about fortitude and just general bigness.
I think
I would like to be
turned
one day.
a brighter shade of red than she was previously. She was pink. She's always a little rosy, but she's probably light red now. Just
this one kind of reminds me of Sanah now I look at it.
Oh, yes. Yes, she's quite tall, isn't she? But this is a tall tower. It's got lots of A's.
Yes. I'm glad I put this is going to be perfect. And so Thorn sets it down next to them, and they're in front of the fire, I imagine, and they're kind of down, just kind of knelt out the way. Maybe if there's like an in-dog, down with the in-dog, hanging out. And they've been playing with that little vial of snowblood and slowly defrosting it by the flames of the fire. And also down beside them on the trail of their cloak is a small squirrel, and in between, like shaking up the vial, feeding Rambo little bits of breakfast.
Okay, no problem.
Now, Rambo, don't touch the tower unless Lady Alys says it's all right. You shouldn't touch someone's tower unless they give you permission after all.
That's a very good point, and it might not be what they need. This
Do you
little
think
one
Rambo
might need
needs
something
help?
different. Maybe.
Well,
But you shall have to ask.
Little squirrel's kind of like,
Oh, you don't need help, do you? No. You're splendid just the way you are.
it enjoys it. The tail kind of goes stretches long. The luscious kind of red kind of just stretches long as it enjoys it and kind of tilts its head to you.
well,
Besides, yes. And besides, if you touch the big, tall tower, a giant squirrel would be most terrifying, don't you think? Some people should remain small.
I mean,
Lady
where
Alys.
would it find nuts big enough?
Well, quite.
No, Aethelfrith, Lady Alys, just had a terrifying thought. Lady Alys, where was your bag last night with your tall tower? Were you watching it all night?
Well, no, that's not how sleeping works.
What if, in your room, something small crept like a little mouse, and it touched the tower, and it grew big, and that's what murdered Carol?
Oh, no.
Stranger things have happened between heaven and earth, I'm sure. Devil magic.
Oh, gosh, am I to blame for this? Should I,
Did you
I
step
think
into any mushroom circles on your way here?
Well, not that I'm aware of.
we did pass the dead man and his horse, though. Maybe that was a sign. We should all say some prayers really quickly in case
We should all bow our heads, hold hands.
Oh, gosh, okay.
Lady Alys, what should we say?
Oh, yes, I should know this, shouldn't I? Dear, well, I suppose if I'm to marry him, it should be a little more affectionate than just God, shouldn't it? Dear darling, please look after us in this strange place, and please, make sure that I didn't make some vole giant and it killed that lady. Thank you ever so much. See you soon. Bye.
Oben.
A voice from above shouts, "Nailed it." After you finish the prayer, the tavern door opens, and George, the knight, steps through. The elderly knight steps through and looks around. "We're looking for Jim. Is there a Jim here?" Everyone kind of looks around. And Aethelfrith, you know Jim. You know what he looks like. He's not here. You can't seem to find him anywhere. And there's a pause for a minute, and he looks around.
Not here.
What?
Jim's not here. I know what he looks like. And he's not in here.
He nods.
Maybe
and then
he went out to use the bucket.
And he shuts the door. Back to Jim and Carol's house. You enter I suppose you could say their bedroom. It's got a very simple kind of you could just about call it a double bed, if that. It's very simple. It's got it does have a wooden frame, and what you could class as potentially like a mattress, but that is just absolutely stuffed with straw and maybe bits of grass, or whatever they could to kind of soften it. The blankets over the bed looks like they've been made. It's just like a single kind of wool blanket. You would imagine it's blooming cold in here. It can be even that, just a simple wool blanket just wouldn't be enough. It's quite cold. It has a simple kind of chest at the foot of the bed, a single stool, and there's a window kind of just there, just in the side of the wall. Julian kind of stands and has a look. We had a look, but we did not find anything out of ordinary.
Doesn't look like they had many possessions in life. But
peasant life is very simple.
I have no doubt that if there was something, you would have found it, but we may as well take a glance for the sake of good records. I'll take a little glance around, I guess.
Of course. I will leave you to search. I will talk with Bram. If you need me, I will be in the next room. And he just walks off.
I'm tearing this room apart. Sanah is not a delicate lady, so she's like, mattress, woof.
Okay. Spot hidden, please.
All right, let's go.
And if you're doing the same,
hidden?
Benedictus, spot hidden as well, please.
Yeah, I'm not going to be tipping the furniture myself, but I will be searching underneath the bed on the tips.
Oh, that is just a success. Holy shit. Ooh, that was close.
Not a success for me.
Not a success for you. Okay. So, Father, you stand there. You have a look around and survey the room to kind of get a general idea of the room, where potentially maybe they would store things. And within 1 second of this contemplation, Sanah just kind of steps in, pulls the wool blanket off, lifts up the mattress, has a look around. There's no subtlety. It just lifts up the bed, has a look around, opens up it's just no subtlety whatsoever. It's just brutishly efficient. Just okay, has a look around.
Sticking her arm in the straw mattress, having a wiggle around.
Yeah. You just kind of this straw that starts to go everywhere. She's making a complete and total mess. Any sort of idea of plan to search this room has just gone out of the window. You can try and you attempt to search yourself, but the problem is you tend to be caught in Sanah's wake. So you tend to look at something, another thing just gets thrown onto the part where you've been looking, because she's just tearing into things. After about 5-10 minutes of looking, you both don't seem to find anything out of the ordinary. It's pretty what you would expect to find in a simple room where they sleep.
Anything out of the ordinary, Sanah?
Haven't found anything.
That you feel a gust of cold air brush into the room as you can hear the door open to the house and then shut. Some murmurings, and then some footsteps heading towards you. Julian comes in, looks at the room. What happened here? Were you attacked?
I was being
Sanah
thorough.
is very thorough when it comes to mattresses and the like.
Yes, and he looks at the mattress, and you can tell he's a bit physically annoyed because you know full well he's probably was planning to sleep on that. And he's like, I guess it is better to be thorough. Did you find anything?
No. Not a thing. It's clean.
Well, not anymore, but yes.
Well, yeah. Beyond that.
I have some troubling news. We cannot find Jim. He is not in the tavern. Meaning he did not come into the tavern that night.
I'm not being
As I
funny.
feared.
If your wife was murdered and you did it, then you would like it, wouldn't you?
That is what I am thinking. He could not have gone far. I suggest we go and search.
Sounds good to me.
Very
I was
well.
already arranging a posse to go. Perhaps we should join forces.
I agree. Although I would like to keep as many people as we can within the tavern while we do this. Of course, Father and Sanah, you may go and continue the search. If you two would like to search together, I can search with my knights around the other side of the village, and we can do this quickly.
Very well. I agree. Jim must be found, and he has more than a few questions to answer.
Indeed. Bram, and he turns to Bram, and Bram, this elderly gentleman, he's getting, as this continues, the day continues, getting paler and paler, and the man, he's just like, yes, you will come with me. We will need to identify what Jim looks like. Father, I assume you know what he looks like?
I do.
Very well. Come, Bram. We have a villager to find. And they head outside. Are you going to follow them? Yep. He kind of indicates to you an area of the village, basically the opposite of what he suggests. It's pretty much the whole village is surrounded by thick trees. There is an area of farmland that has kind of open fields where you would assume that the crop would go. There is obviously the mill there for the bread that's kind of slightly elevated on a kind of slight slope up, so that it's quite tall of a mill. Because of all the trees, it had to go quite tall to catch the wind to actually turn all the contraptions within inside. So it's up on this kind of very small hill, and it's very tall for a mill for this size and village. He suggested he's going to check out the main part of the village, and if you two could check out the outskirts of the village, the fields, see if he got that far. They're going to start checking buildings to see if he's hiding in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And with that,
Very
he
well.
heads off and starts with Bram to ensure that it's all okay. You know, he's got the village elder. You know, he can do all this. Starts going into people's houses and starts searching. Now,
So, oh yeah, no, go ahead.
so I was just about to ask, what would you two like to do?
Well, first things first, Sanah has taken the wool blanket that was on the bed because it's cold and snowy, and she's got a little cape going on. Father, you last spoke to this Jim, right?
Great.
What was his mental state like?
Worried about his wife. He was headed back to his house, so presumably he must have left off from here at some point. He was concerned. Genuinely, I saw in his eyes no malice, from what I could tell, but the devil works in mysterious ways.
It does, but there's one thing in my experience I've found, that if you're planning to, skip town, run away, then you usually take something with you. And there was nothing in that house that suggested that Jim had taken anything with him. Especially in weather like this, right?
Yes, leaving without gear and equipment is as good as signing your own death warrant.
Yeah. So
it's
I
possible
wonder.
He panicked if he killed his wife, I suppose. Or...
It is possible. It is possible. I guess we'll find his frozen body if he did run. He wouldn't have made it far.
Yeah. Let's take a look around to see if there are any tracks, perhaps. Might all be lost now, though.
Okay. So, where will you two be heading? You're going to be heading to the outskirts of the city. Village. Where are you going to be heading?
Yeah, I guess the outskirts, see if there's anyone out there.
You're going to, border around, go around, see if you can pick up any tracks or anything like that? Okay.
Yeah, this isn't the father's, area of expertise, so he's doing whatever Sanah thinks best for him.
I need to know how you're looking. So if you're actually actively looking for tracks, or whether you're just having a look around for anything that seems out of the ordinary.
Hang on, let me just check my character sheet. I think maybe we have one of us on tracks and one of us on just stuff that's out of the ordinary. So one focusing down on the ground, one.
I'm no tracker.
Neither am I, but fuck it. All right. I would, yeah. So Sanah will be on tracks.
Okay. So if you could roll track for me, please.
I'd like to use my crit.
Okay, absolutely. You can use your crit. We'll just make a note of that. For Charlie. And Father Benedictus?
Yeah, looking around. If it's a spot hidden, I rolled a 46, which is a success.
It's a success. Okay. All right, no problem. You start to head out to the skirts of the village. You start at the windmill, which seems to kind of be... there is a bit of a wind, but it's a gentle breeze, and the big kind of... I don't know actually what they're called. What are windmill
sails? Things
called? Sails. The sails of the windmill are kind of just... They're not really turning. There's not enough. But you can kind of smell the scent of kind of a barley and wheat and this is where they basically make the bread. But you head around and you start searching. You don't find anything out of the ordinary around there, but you start to head around the village. Back at the inn.
While we're investigating,
go ahead.
I do want to take an opportunity to ask Sanah about Lady Alys, because there's something there which just isn't making sense to Father Benedictus. So while we're searching around looking for tracks and stuff, I say, so how does a knight like yourself end up in the services of someone like Lady Alys?
Well, basically, when one is a hedge knight with no fixed employment, one takes the first job that pays well, and her family are paying pretty well to see the back of her.
I see. That does make some sense now. She seems...
I mean, she's a lovely lady, but spend more than 10 minutes with her and you can understand why.
That it's not just me then. Seems like there are a lot of odd folk around in Parish at the moment.
Yeah, you kidding? Not kidding.
These nights,
Mm.
did I pick up a sense of hesitation from you?
I'm just always a little bit wary, Father. There's them that walk around and yeah, they wear the vestments, they wear the armor, they've got the swords, but they're no men of God. And you can never be sure.
They are. You must have more experience in these matters than I do.
I've been on the road a while. I've seen some stuff.
Very well. Well, nothing here as far as I can see. Let's press on.
Let's keep going.
And you continue to skirt the village. Back at the tavern, Thorn, Lady Alys, and Aethelfrith. You notice it's been quite some time since they've come back. People are still there in the tavern. They're getting a little bored, a little restless. They've got things to do. They want to go and do things.
Right there with them.
And you just seem to be... It just seemed to be getting a bit of restless in the tavern at the moment. Kale is again trying to make as many people as comfortable as possible. So is Tora. She's going around to see if anyone needs a drink, some food, some blankets. They've passed around the bucket a few times.
For good measure.
You know, just in case.
You all right there?
Thank
you look like you're a little jittery. What with the not... is it not baking? Do you need... Is that a thing? Needing to bake?
I do need to bake, but you also have to need, usually, to get the baking done. I do feel a mighty need to bake.
We could just go and ask them. I'm sure they're reasonable people.
Well, they weren't entirely reasonable earlier, but it's getting on in the day, and I've got them things got to be done.
It's all right. I'll just go and ask them. It'll be fine. Just wander up to the front door.
Follow. Concern.
Okie dokie. Thorn?
Thorn is also going to follow, but who is actually guarding the door here?
You have only seen Marcel. The
where's he
young...
right now?
He's outside. No one is actually on the inside. You've only seen him on the outside. So no one is technically guarding
Who
the door
is the
from the
grumpiest
inside.
villager in the tavern beyond Aethelfrith? Who we
roll me
know
a
has
spot.
grumpy bunitis.
Roll me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Not very good at this, but let's try it. So 25 is my target,
Okay.
which sucks. I was trying to see if I had another skill that I could use instead, but I really don't.
I'll give you listen, because you can hear people grumbling as well, if you wish.
That's way better. That's a 60. Yes, please. I use my ears to listen for the loudest grumbler.
For the loudest whinge.
60, exactly.
Okay.
Who's the biggest whiner in the village?
There seems to be two men that are kind of whinging the most. Fallon, that you know, Sir Sanah arm wrestled and kicked and beat last night, and another person there who is a bit younger than Fallon by a considerable amount, but he's very, very muddy. He's got very greasy, slick hair that kind of all down to one side. His hands are completely filthy. He's kind of got like his clothes are bogging. Aethelfrith will know this is Norris. He is the pig farm.
Oof, yeah.
/ butcher / everything.
So on my way after Lady Alys, I'd like to try and pass their table and try and slip something in Fallon's drink on my way past.
Okay. Is it what I think it is?
It is totally what you think it is, Tom. I've decided now is the time.
Okay. Do a sleight of hand, will you please? And I need to look this up.
Alright, I'm not very good at this, but I'm gonna use my crit to get this in the drink because I really want to do this and I don't want to end up being beaten up by Fallon, to be honest.
Okay.
There's about to be another murder.
Okay. You do it, no problem. You kind of pass by, and they're just like, "Oh yeah," and you slip it in without noticing.
I lean over, I do the like pat on one shoulder, so he turns to look at me. I ain't been in it, don't you? Yeah. And the other hand's around him, just tipping it in the drink.
All right, bear with me while I just find the details.
And I'll follow Lady Alys to the door and just occasional glance back, see what happens. I think it's a great plan you got, Lady Alys. Just ask them. I'm sure they'll let them out.
Oh yes, most people tend to be quite reasonable when you just ask for what you want.
Exactly. Like God.
What?
Reasonable when you ask him for what you want.
Oh gosh, I hadn't thought of that. I mean, not properly. Oh. I shall have to make some more statues. Well, I can't very well use the tower anymore. That sounds terribly dangerous now you've explained it to me.
I think you're right. Maybe Aethelfrith could help you make them. She's got them strong hands. Get a good shape with them.
Clay is similar to dough, is it?
Oh, I've never really worked with clay. We don't.
I've never worked with
have
dough.
The bakery.
Could do a skill swap.
If you're going to be in town long enough, Lady Alys, that sounds delightful.
Splendid.
But first, we got to get you out of this tavern, Aethelfrith, so you can get back to work. Nothing worse than losing a day's work in a village.
It's nothing worse.
Nothing worse.
Except for maybe plague.
And speaking of, do you know if you got a sin eater in the village? Because that's 2 bodies by my count, and that's a lot of people, not given their rights as they should be.
Well, that's very true. Usually we've got, someone who takes care of it.
It's not Jim, right?
No, it's not Jim. Now, Jim was really good at fences. He was kind of a general worker to help people with things around their properties and stuff.
Okay. Have you approached the door?
Lady Alys, do you think we should knock to go out? Is that polite, do you think, to knock to
Usually I don't. Somebody opens them for me.
My lady.
Opens
the door. The Lady Alys!
And
gosh.
You see Marcel outside. He turns and he steps in front. And he, excuse me, you cannot come outside.
Oh, you see, we must, you see. This lovely lady here, she's making food for the entire village, and that just isn't possible without her being where she needs to be and to escort her to make sure nothing untoward happens.
I understand, but I do not think the village will suffer for one day of not making the food.
Well, I'm a squire, and my knight, Sanah, is escorting Lady Alys to where she ought to be, and we can't be doing that if we're cooped up in here, and Sanah is a holy knight of the realm, so you are stopping God's child about her business. And me.
Where is your knight?
I don't know. We
She's
ain't seen her in a little while.
In that case, there is reason to believe that she left you here for a reason.
A reason? She doesn't tend to do things for reasons. She just sort of does them.
Is that so?
So I punched a tree once. It was very peculiar.
Oh, yeah, she did do that.
And last night she went puce.
Can you what? Sorry.
Can I size up this night?
In what way?
Just wanna, I feel like I can take
For a coffin.
If you can take him.
Bun to the face.
He's quite tall and he is quite broad, but he's tall and he's quite
But he
slim. But
sounds
he's
French.
he is French, and
know.
he's got a long.
questions.
He's got a sword at his side, a short sword at his side, and a shield on his back. And he is, as you can clearly hear, he is wearing chainmail. Unless I'll give you this one for free. Unless you have something to actively take him out in one hit, it probably would not go well for you.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Kitchen just donated a nat 20 for Lindy.
The temptation of chat is right there.
Right there. It's right there.
Danger.
I don't think I get very far suplexing and running, because they know where I'm going to go. So I think she just keeps this in mind, and she just makes a mental note in case it's more than one day. 2 days. People are gonna get decked.
This is such a shame, isn't it? Oh gosh. Well,
What?
I suppose. And I'll look at this night and
might be able to survive for 1 day, but it is getting into the dead of winter. Well, you've got to be cooking and preparing food when you can.
if you don't, people tend to keel over.
Hungry, don't want them to all go hungry.
No.
Illness comes about because of the chill.
Okay, Susie. Not Susie. Lindy. Roll me a persuade, please. This is going to be quite hard, but it is
not a charm or a fast talk. Fast talk.
No, you're trying to use logic to get out, which is more persuade.
Okay, sure. I do have persuade.
And charm is just being very nice to them.
I am very nice. Well, I'm not very nice right now, but yeah. All right, let's see. That's not what I meant to roll. That is not a percentile dice. Let me try that again. No.
I mean, he looks at you and he nods in understanding. I understand, but it is for your own safety.
Oh, it's such a shame, you see, because well, you see, I'm supposed to be marrying God soon, and I can't very well do that stuck in here. And if something dreadful were to happen to me in here, it's terribly scary, isn't it?
Indeed, but do not worry, my lady. I will be here to protect you.
Oh,
gosh.
I do have a question on that. Since you're to be Lady Alys's protector, should anything go wrong in this tavern and her parents should hear about it, what might be your name, Sir Knight?
I am Sir Marcia.
Noted.
Oh, say it again. Your voice is lovely.
It is
Sir Marcia.
very foreign accent.
Look, you see, Thorn, Sir Marcy, what was it? Marcy. I should just call you Marcy, I think. And I just squeeze his arm a little bit.
You'll do that.
Sir Marcy will look after us. He's terribly strong. Look at his arms.
And he kind of blushes a little. He goes, well, it is all in a day's work for a night.
Very good night.
Sure.
He's been left in charge of all of us here in the tavern. Only the best, of course, would have been left, not the worst and the one that they didn't want involved into the murder or anything.
Absolutely, especially when they know who my father is.
Oh, especially.
They would only have left the best, wouldn't they?
Of course, only the most valiant would be left behind, the one with the best brains.
Indeed. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes, you couldn't just for a second let me go outside because and I pull him to one side, all embarrassed. The bucket's getting rather full, and peasants have been using them, and my father always said that I shouldn't, around people.
And he
like
gently
that.
taps your arm as you're holding his. I understand, lady.
Thank you.
Roll me a charm, please.
And peasants.
Little did we know
using
that
them.
all of the horror would be coming from us. And the buckets
Buckets
Oh God! Can I spend 4 luck to take that down to a success?
You can indeed. Yes, you can. He pauses for a moment and he taps her. It is not right for a lady of your standing to share such amenities with the peasants. Very well. You may select one of your company to go with you, but you cannot be long.
Oh gosh. Must I select one? It's just one of them. Oh gosh. Oh, this is very difficult.
Okay, my lady. You may select both of them, but you need to be back.
Oh, well then I do. I select both. Oh, thank you awfully. You're terribly kind. And I kiss him on the cheek.
He kind of, he goes a bit red. There's a smile, and he kind of, yes, of course. Please escort my lady to do what she needs to do, and please come back within 10 minutes.
Oh, yes, we shall, of course. Thanks awfully. They'll write songs about your valiant decisions.
As Thorn passes, under their breath, they turn to the knight and say, "That's God's wife. Watch what you think."
He looks confused. Right. And he closes the door and gets back, leaning against the door, keeping guard. Where would you like to go?
Oh, wasn't he nice?
It's cold.
Oh gosh, isn't it cold?
It's alright. Aethelfrith's warm buns will help, right? Let's go.
My house has 2 buckets too if you need one.
Oh gosh. Well then let's.
Okay. So you're heading to Aethelfrith's house.
In a roundabout way, I would suggest, so it doesn't just look like we're crossing the street.
You're trying to stealth your way to her house.
Yes.
Okay. Could everyone please roll me a stealth?
I would love to try, Tom.
Can I help them in any way with my expertise of sneaking?
We shall see. We shall
Probably
see.
not. Alright.
No.
You've got a crit. Just.
I spend 2 points to make that a success.
Make that success. Okay, so Lady Alys success, Thorn success,
Yes.
but Aethelfrith fail. Okay, averaging out, you succeed. Okay, so there are a few heavy steps from Aethelfrith. She's not particularly used to sneaking around,
No,
but with the guidance
never.
of Thorn and the grace of Lady Alys, you kind of weave your way through. You can see Bram with Julian and George heading around and looking around. You can see them going into people's houses. They stay in there for a while and then leave and move to another house. But it's pretty obvious the order they're going in. They're just going the next one over and over and over. So it's easy to bypass them. And it's not long before you are in your house.
All right. Bucket in there if you need it. I'm just gonna grab a few things.
Oh, isn't it lovely and
Maybe
warm?
just enough time to get everything ready. Just grabs like a tray, slaps some dough on it. Just get some things so she can bake a little bit over the fire at the inn rather than in the big oven at her house.
Okay.
She can at least make something.
So you're essentially just getting stuff for work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Lady Alys, Thorn.
Peasant's not working. What is a peasant to do?
Are you two doing anything here?
I will be. No, if we're going back to the tavern, then I'll do that then. I'll just use the bucket.
Okay.
Probably takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the bucket is just like in a corner.
And I whistle like a Disney princess during.
Okay. So normally they would take it outside and just like around a corner or something like that. Or if it's in the family, they'll just do it there. It's entirely where you want. Thorn? mean, I should describe this house has got like you're in this kind of like you could say living room area, but it's like an all-in-one kind of living room kitchen. It's a nice little house actually, and there are 2 rooms, one to the right, which is which Aethelfrith will know is hers, and then another one to the left, which is her mother's. But essentially, it's just like one room with like cooking pots and everything. Pretty good actually for a peasant. It's quite pleasant.
Well, it's very nice. I mean, I would quite like to stay, but you know, the night's find eventually. Aethelfrith, I was wondering, what with you clearly being an excellent cook and all, if I might borrow some herbs, you know, dried herbs for things.
Certainly, what you need.
Well, I wouldn't mind a bit of that rosemary.
All right.
And she'll go along the row and kind of look through the jars, open them up, give them a sniff, to try and locate some ingredients.
Okay, roll me a luck to see if the ingredients that you actually want are there.
My luck currently is at 43. So,
Squire Thorn, what
yes,
flavours does Sanah like? Like bread.
Well, Sanah mostly likes the savoury things, you know, a little bit of salt in there, but occasionally the sweet tooth does strike.
Okay, good to know, good to know.
Especially when she's sad, I've noticed.
Oh, well, I can understand that. You see, she just grabs a couple things.
Not that she's sad often, usually in a good mood, especially when there's the good mead at hand, but, you know, sometimes she gets a little in her melancholy, and it just takes a little bit of sweet and perks her back up.
Okay.
She just gets two things.
Mm-hmm. As you're Thorn, as you're looking through all the ingredients that they've got, you've got a little Rambo who's running up your arm, having a look around. He's assisting you in finding.
Rambo, those walnuts are not yours. Put it down. Oh, what you found, Rambo? All right, walnuts yours. We'll talk about it later.
He starts scurrying around. You can find whatever you were looking for that would reasonably on. Lady Alys, as you're outside and whistling away, you get a kind of like a little magpie just swoops down and kind of starts whistling to your tune as well, like in unison. It's like you do a whistle and it would reply, "Yes, we have gone full Disney."
Oh gosh, aren't you clever?
It kind of, and it whistles back.
Oh, do it again.
As you make that noise, it kind of tilts its head, and it whistles something along that in the same kind of like as long as it was, but it's more of a pleasant.
And I go just call for Thorn and then realise I'm still using the bucket. Oh gosh.
Did
you whistle for me, Lady Alys?
No, don't come. Hang on just a second.
Oh, averting.
There we go. All finished. I found a friend.
In the bucket?
Oh. No, I don't think so.
It's good.
The magpie's kind of like on top of the roof now, kind of. Just
don't go in the bucket. Not in the bucket.
It just looks at you, and it repeats.
You know, normally, Lady Alys, it's one for sorrow, so we should really look for a second. But I think this one does like you. I've never seen a magpie do that. That's curious.
One for sorrow.
Yeah, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, and 4 for a boy.
Well, why do we have to have one? Can't we just skip straight to joy?
I think that's very...
Joy. Hello, Joy.
Perfect, Lady Alys. Flawless.
Aethelfrith has a large basket she's got slung over one arm, and the largest, heaviest rolling pin her family has, because there's a murder about, And,
Yep.
just in case I need to smack somebody, I've got my rolling pin ready.
No problem.
It's like
As you're just finishing up, all you hear is a loud "Arrgh!" Coming from the tavern. Back to Father Benedictus and Sir Sanah. You have finally reached the fields. Now this is the very outskirts of the village. You've so far found really nothing that would indicate Jim or any tracks. Essentially the night has covered pretty much everything in a blanket of snow. It snowed pretty heavy that night. You, Sanah, with your experience in tracking, you weren't looking so much for footprints, but maybe, maybe some cloth, something like that, anything. As you approach the edge of the village on the farthest field, something catches a corner of your eye, a bit further into the dense forest. It was a very brief thing that you noticed, and your eye gets drawn to kind of like it's not so much of a path, but like some sort of route through the winding of the trees, which seems to be very, very slightly less than the rest. And only a skilled tracker would have noticed it, and it catches your eye.
I think at this point she might have been like idly chatting with the father as they walk, but she just like kind of stops in her tracks and just like nudges him and gestures to where it is, and then she's like says very quietly like, "Follow me." As she like quietly walks up to it. She's not like walking up like do, she's doing this sort of like slow, crossing over the feet.
You slowly start stepping over through, and now at this point the snow is coming up to your knees. It's very, very, very thick. And you start going through, carefully keeping an eye out all around you in this eerily quiet forest. There's no birds, there's no animals, it's just silent. It's almost like the snow is muffling all sound. And Father, you're kind of struggling through this because you're not as tall as Sir Sanah, and if it's up to her knees on there, it's probably a bit higher for you, but you try to follow, and you reach at the end of what seems to be where you were walking, where it glints, is a mound of snow, and you see what seems to be a piece of cloth just in the snow.
Sanah sort of like leans down and brushes the snow away just to reveal more of this cloth.
You start brushing it away, and it looks like that there's something firm under this cloth. You brush further and further, and you see the cloth end and a pale blue appearance of flesh.
Yep. So she's I think she says, I think we might have found him, but we need to confirm. So she's like digging to try and find the face.
Yeah, no problem.
So the father can identify him.
So you start, then you go up the arm, you start bringing it away, and you take away from the snow, and it's like half appeared, and an eye just stares directly. The face, again, pale, very pale white, just staring directly. A mouth open, snow half filling it, frozen. Father, if you look at this, even from the hearth, you can quite clearly see that it is Jim.
You muted, Will.
My words were lost in the wind, but that is him.
Seems alright. He didn't get very far, did he?
Why did he run, I wonder?
I don't know. Is there any visible sort of wound on him? Or anything?
You can dig out the body if you want. It's still half thing, and it's going to take you a while because it's a lot of snow, but you can do that, no problem. Okay, you start.
I think it's a bit of a joke, but also not. Sanah pulls out the dagger that she has on her back and her belt and hands it to the father and says, "Something sneaks up on us." Shove that in its face as she's digging.
Yeah.
Because she knows there's no point asking the father to dig through the fucking snow, so she sleeves up and off she goes.
Okay, so you start digging and just piling the snow to the side, and you're revealing more and more. And as you dig further and further and further, it's very hard to see. The clothes that he's wearing don't seem to look like someone who thought about it. It's just normal clothes, barely enough to keep you warm on cold nights. Definitely not enough to keep you warm like last night. And you keep digging and digging and digging further. Father Benedictus, could you do me a spot hidden, please?
I will try. And I fail.
Okay.
I should use my...
You're looking around and don't see anything, and you see Sanah going, and you look, and then with the body, and it's again almost half completely uncovered. The eyes, though, looking straight, just go look at Sanah, and in a big kind of puff of snow that kind of makes you fall back. Sanah, this Jim gets up and just pounces on you and starts hitting into your
Heavenly Father.
Into your
as she reaches for that dagger on her back, is like, fuck!
Ooh.
Her hands up, like trying to...
Okay, he hits for a 6. So you can dodge. You can try and dodge if you want, but he has an extreme success, so you need to match it.
All right, let's try it, right? Let's give it a go.
Never know.
Nope. 11.
It was close. It was closer than I thought.
You could spend some luck.
Oh, I could spend some luck. Yes, I'm gonna do that. So
it's so close.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend some luck. Let me do that. Bam.
Okay. All right, so you spend some luck. So this thing Jim gets up and just starts kind of trying to wail at you and scratch at you, and you get full on your back. You avoid any damage, but he's on top of you, and the snow is just kicking up everywhere as you are just holding, and it's like the hands are trying to get to the throat, and the teeth are also there going, trying to get to some flesh. Father, you just stagger back with not expecting this at all. And because you failed the spot hidden, we'll go round once again, and he'll get another attack on you before you get to react. Okay, he misses that this time. He's just hitting and hitting and hitting, and you're kind of dodging, and he's hitting the ground, and the snow just keeps kicking up. What would you like to do?
Okay, I want to get this thing off me, so I'm gonna sort of like, so I've got like my hands up at my face. I'm gonna like move him under me and like push him up and off me so I can get up.
Do a fighting brawl for me, please.
Fighting brawl, which I do have stuff in, so here we go. 66 is not it. Shit. Miss.
Okie dokie. Shoot, one sec. There we go. Okay, you miss again. It's just chaos. There's just snow everywhere. You can probably barely see. It's put you out of. You're on your back. You're winded. You're just trying at this moment. You're fighting for your life. You're just trying to get anything out.
Oh shoot! Anywhere. I remember. Are we doing push rolls in this?
You can push if you want, absolutely.
Yes,
but you need to get the next level.
Hard. Yeah, I believe.
Yeah, you need at least a hard.
I got faith.
Of the heart.
Oh!
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, he's going to try... I suppose he's trying dodge, but it's not going to be particularly... Unless he's pretty good. Nope, he doesn't. Okay, so roll the damage for me, which will be... it should be on the thing underneath. Unarmed. And don't forget your your extra damage bonus, and your build bonus.
Okay. 1d3. Oh, it's /die, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then 1d4 is my damage bonus.
Oof.
2!
You do 2 damage?
Big
All
rolls.
Right. No problem.
Like, I can't feel my fingers, you know? I just the connection.
This is definitely just a mad... just bloody... just hoping and trying to get out and get away from this creature. One sec. Okay.
And Susie, just so you know, you had another crit donated. Thank you so much, chat.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, and thank you to KP Lantern who did donate earlier, and I forgot to mention it because we got stuck talking about buckets and birds.
Very important. Father Benedictus, it is your turn.
Heavenly Father, protect us. Deliver us from evil. And I am going to use a critical success here.
Okay.
And he has the dagger from Sanah, I think, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, what was the dagger's thing? I think it's like 1d4. I think. Am I right?
I think it's 1d4.
1d4 plus if you have any damage bonus or damage negatives, depending on your build and all that.
He has some surprising amount of old man strength. So 5 damage.
5 damage. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Sanah is just rocking side by side as as Jim just keeps trying to pound and pound and pound down. You bring out the dagger, shaking from the cold and fear, and you just plunge it into the back. He pulls out. He kind of whelps a kind of gargled kind of scream. It's and it turns to you. The ice cold eyes kind of lock with yours, and he pounces at you.
Wretched being.
Okay, and he misses completely. He pounces, and Sanah notices it, grabs hold of his leg, and prevents him. He just falls flat onto the ground. Again, snow just billowing everywhere. So Sanah, what would you like to do?
Okay, so I've got him on the ground. She's gonna slip her arm into her shield and just bring it down like on the back of his head and just shield bash him.
All right, do the shield.
Okay, so I'm looking for a 75 or under. 59.
Very nice. He's going to try and dodge. One sec. Okay, he fails that. Okay, do the damage.
We didn't write down what shield damage is. I imagine it's 1d4,
it's like,
right? Maybe. Or
I think it's. I should have. Yes, let's just do 1d4 like a dagger kind of thing. I can't remember how much.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then I've got my damage bonus too, so I'll just roll 2d4. 3. Oh my god, please, come on.
3. All right. I mean, I got so many blooming things open. So you grab hold, you get up, you bring out your shield, and you crunch down right onto the back. Again, it squirms, its arms like wriggle out to the side as it penetrates into the back, and you lift it up, but it kind of momentarily shocks Jim on the floor, and he just starts lying there. Father Benedictus, what would you like to do?
I'm going to plunge the dagger into the back of its neck.
Okay, go ahead.
Straight roll, or is there a bonus for him being like prone?
I'll give you advantage, so roll twice and take the lowest.
Okay.
Or I should say the best, really, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Well, I rolled a 62 and a 26, so I'll take the 26.
Okay, do the damage, please.
Alright, so again. 5 points.
5 points. Okay. You plunge the dagger into this motionless Jim as it penetrates, and you can hear the ice of the frozen skin just start cracking as the dagger doesn't go in as far as you expect. This the frozen body seems to have got resistance against the dagger piercing it, and you bring it out, and and Jim at the time gets up and jumps towards you, Father.
It still lives.
While I have a look. I'm sorry, I've got so many windows open.
That's right.
You also have 2 crits on deck, Tom.
Oh, thank you very much.
What? Don't tell
Okay.
him
Okay, that's a hit.
Says
Tell that to him
Will.
after the combat.
Yeah. That's a hit. You can dodge or whatever you want, Father.
Yeah, why not? I'll try.
You may as well.
I am about as spry as an old lady's hip, so no, I am.
All right. You take.
And is easily broken.
You take 1 point of damage as it jumps up. You fall back as it grabs hold of you, and on the leg it sinks its teeth into your shin as it tears and pierces into the flesh.
Help!
You can see steam rising from the leg as the warm blood mixes with the cold air. Sanah.
All right. She's gonna come up and she's gonna try and full Nelson this zombie man and pull him off, so she can grab him and hold him for the Father to shank him.
Fighting brawl, please.
All right, fighting brawl. Let's go. 88. That ain't it.
Okay. So you try and grab Jim off, and you get your hands around, you try and pull, but as you're pulling, the teeth are digging into Father Benedictus's leg as he screams as flesh starts to slowly peel from the bone, and you hesitate because the more you pull, the more it's hurting, so you stop for a while, and Jim starts trying to crawl further up Father Benedictus's body and try and take another bite, which he fails.
My body is the body of Christ.
And the Father, you are side by side trying to get away, kicking as much as you possibly can. What would you like to do?
I'm imagining that the dagger is still on the back of its neck, right where I put it there, because it's frozen in. So what I'm gonna try and do is, while it's on my leg, just try and reach down and rip that dagger out, and then stab it into the side of its head, where its brain should be.
Go ahead and
I'm gonna use a critical success on that because I want to be here next session.
Okay, so you reach forward, grab out, pull out the dagger. You could see bits of flesh and kind of gelatinated kind of blood just ooze out, and you with your might just right into the side. So roll me a
4 points of damage on there.
It's crit. What do we do with crits? Don't we double the damage?
Oh, it's up to you, really.
Yeah. Okay. Roll another d4.
Okay. That brings it to 6 in total.
Okay, so you into the side of the head. It goes right in through the eye. The eye is now on the end of the dagger, and this thing goes kind of, it's thick, kind of blood just dripping down its chin. And you pull it out, and it's still trying to get to you. Sanah.
All right. Sword.
Yep.
Stab.
Okay. Roll me
Right.
a sword attack with advantage because.
Okay.
Well.
This is your vengeance for Scythian, isn't it?
No.
That would not have done it.
You have advantage,
does
so you
it.
roll twice. Yeah.
45 does it.
Okay. Now please do the damage.
Okay, let's say. Whoa.
The problem with
then-
Scythian was none of it was your fault. It was all the shit rolls.
It's a 4.
4? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Father kicks away with one big thump to the head as it snaps the head back. You crawl back away where Sanah just gets her sword and plunges it deep into Jim's back. It goes so far you could hear the sword crack through the frozen ground. Put it in, you give it a twist as it and it goes limp, and you pull out the sword. As you pull out the sword, you hear footsteps coming towards you. You see Julian there with his hand with his hand drawing his sword. You see Bram there. He's got what seems to be kind of like just a small hammer. And you can also see George there as well. They've all got their weapons drawn and they approach you. And they raise their weapons to you and go, "Put down your weapons."
And Sanah, like, she lowers the sword but has, like, one hand up.
The
she
dagger
gestures
just
to the
falls on the
father.
father's fingers as well, and he just, like, he falls onto his one good leg, so that the other can, take some of the weight and just,
Okay.
Help!
As you pause and you put you put your hand up and you drop the dagger, you see Bram there kind of look at the body, eyes wide, and then closes and he starts to what seems to be like pray. Julian looks at the body and his expression goes to shock, to anger as he looks at both of you. You turn, Benedictus, as you see the dagger in your hand with fresh red blood dripping from it as it hits the ground. Sanah, you can see your blade is covered in fresh red blood as you look down and you see a normal human Jim with fresh cut wounds, no blue, pink, well, not pink, but kind of like flesh colored with fresh wounds in the back. And as you blink, there's darkness. You hear your breathing. Just breathing. Benedictus, you see kind of like a black mist swirling around you. Every time you move your hand, it's almost like going through a mist. It's darkness. There's nothing. And you hear a slight voice kind of whispered into your ear. Release. Sanah, you are in a suffocating darkness, a void of nothing. Your breathing echoes around until you turn and the darkness opens up. But it opens up like an eye that is blinking, a vertical eye as the slits open side. But not one eyelid, but two, as a secondary eyelid swirls open with a sickening. It blinks. And you hear. You blink. You are back standing in front of Julian, who has his sword and shield ready. Bram his eyes closed, hands clutching tight in prayer, the blood dripping. I would like you both to roll me a sanity check, please.
Oh,
At
Yeah,
disadvantage.
Tom, why though? That's a fail.
Okay.
Fail.
And Tom, I would just like to mention that Staffan has donated to give you 4 crit fails for the GM.
All right, cool. Thanks, Stefan. You bastard. Ooh. Okay. You both lose 2 sanity points. You were lucky there. I rolled so very low.
I saw that D10.
Yeah. Back to the village. Back to the... You hear coming from the tavern. What would you like to do?
Good heavens, what you think that is?
I don't know, but I think maybe we should go in the opposite direction, really, to be honest. I think that direction doesn't sound very good, and, you know, we've got Lady Alice's well-being to think of.
Oh, that's ever so nice of you. Yes, it sounds like somebody's having quite the cuddle.
Do you think it's someone else getting murdered?
Oh, don't use that word, please.
I'm sure they're just, you know, tired of being stuck indoors when there's good, honest, hard labour to be doing out here in the freezing cold. Yep. We should go.
But it's awfully deathly sounding noise.
Well, I still think we should go and find Sanah. You know, it's always safest wherever Sanah is. Sanah's got the big sword.
Yes.
Oh, at least peek
Get
out.
off me!
Window.
Oh no, it sounds like a bird. Peek through the window or the front.
I can say you could see the inn. You can see that the knight, that one of the villagers is on the knight, struggling with the knight, and the knight is on his back and he's trying to hold out. You see villagers kind of rush out and they're trying to pull this other villager off the knight.
Oh, no, I could take.
And he's visibly fighting and punching other villagers, trying
to take out Sir. What's his face?
Well, they're playing horses.
Well, maybe Sir Marcel said something about elderberries. You never know with these knights, especially the French ones.
I have heard they've been known to make comments about people's mothers.
And,
never do
you
that.
know, they got all sorts of theories about running backwards in a battle.
That seems very sensible. You'd stay alive, wouldn't you? Go away from the danger, not towards.
It's not a very good way of winning a battle, though.
Aethelfrith, are you still watching?
Yeah.
Okay. You notice that they're able to get the villager off, and he's still fighting. Like
they got him off, but he's
beast.
still got a lot of fight in him, it seems like.
Just an absolute beast that is just...
I think maybe I should wrestle him down.
This is the weirdest fight commentating ever.
You notice it's Fallon. And he was already quite a brawn guy. And the villagers, they just can't seem to get him down.
He challenges me to arm wrestling once a month.
The knight has now recovered and he's drawn his sword.
Oh! You might stab him. I don't think we can have that.
No! Get him!
What?
I mean, you can't go stabbing an unarmed villager, even if he is hulking out like he's.
Oh, you absolutely can. I've seen it done lots of time.
As you're talking, Fallon shrugs off,
running to the
charges at the knight.
With my rolling pin.
You get to the door, you open the door, and as you see the door open, you see the knight through the chest, bring it, and head comes off in kind of flow.
He makes it look quite easy.
Sprays up from the head, and the body just It falls to one leg, but then it continues a bit further. The arms swinging and swinging until it finally just drops before him.
I'll just
and
slowly
he steps
close
back.
the door.
I burst
you hear
through the door as you close it and say, J'accuse! At the night.
You see him raise his sword to all the villagers and shout for them to get back inside the tavern. He turns to you.
It's terribly safe there anymore.
He turns to you and he says, "Get here now."
Scoop up a basket.
Is he
Aethelfrith,
hungry?
how good is your door jam?
It's not great. I'm a peasant.
She makes bread, not chat. Is that a different place?
All right, out the back door. You have a back door, right, Aethelfrith?
She doesn't have a back door.
No, why would I have a back door? That's 2 places for drafts to come in.
Valid.
That's actually very
valid.
sensible.
Yes, I can see that. All
You're
right.
clever, aren't you? Well, maybe
do
he
try.
just wants some buns, you know. Maybe he's
I do
worked up an appetite with all the stabbing.
Scoop up the basket.
At this point,
and
the villagers have slowly started to head back in. They've left the body of Thalon down. Marcel heads to the tavern and shuts it.
I don't know what they're gonna do now.
You see that you got Vincent there, who has just come around to see with Harry to see what the problem was. He's ordered them over. He's given Vincent a dagger. He seems to be talking, and now he starts heading over to your direction. Marcel, not Vincent. Vincent and Harry are staying by the...
I think we should... You're done with the bucket, milady?
Yes.
I think we should maybe come nice and easy, like, so they don't run us through.
I'm not sure what you mean, but I'm sure we can figure something out. He looks quite friendly, doesn't he?
Just be pleasant, and we go back to the inn.
Yes.
Are you still in the doorway?
Rolling pin
Thorn?
on shoulder. Oh no, Thorn? Okay, yeah. I've got the basket, I've got my rolling pin.
He approaches,
Lady
his
Alys.
sword drawn, and kind of points towards you. Come out now.
Milady is busy about her ablutions.
He steps forward.
I can show you if you'd like.
Again.
I hold the bucket out right in front of him. See?
Just
I've been
finish your
terribly
ablution.
busy.
With his sword, he knocks the bucket to one side.
Oh gosh.
So just right.
Oh, that's all over your
And
wall now.
He presses the sword up towards your chest.
Oh.
No.
Well, I can't go forward if you're sticking me with a sword now, can I? Move back. You're good at it, Frenchie.
Okay. He steps forward, and with the pummel of his sword, hits you across the face.
Bye, my ladies.
Oh no, listen here. That's
Oh
that's absolutely not on.
Okay, that'll hit. You can dodge or
Oh,
you still
I
have
sure
the option
can.
to
I've
dodge.
got points in dodge.
You do.
Hold on. Yes, I'm going to roll to dodge. I was just going to take the hit, but I got points in dodge for a change.
You can. It's up to you. I mean, you can take the hit if you want to.
No. How about... Hang on, let me see what the level that is. How
I
about
think you got
a
a bit in
hard
dodge.
success?
Okay.
I can make it an extreme with a few points, but I'm not going to.
Okay. So you can see he's getting ready to start punching you, and you've seen this before. So you quickly dodge back as he kind of swings, and he's getting really agitated now. He's getting very, very agitated. And
I scoop Lady Alys with the basket arm, and I start moving us towards the inn.
Get the lady to safety! Sanah! Lady Alys is under attack by the devil!
Gosh.
Making as
Oh,
much
is that what
noise
the
as
devil
Thorn
looked
can.
like?
Okay.
And
Okay.
I don't think
pick
that's
up
what
a
the
bun
devil
off the
doesn't look
floor.
like the pictures.
I pick up a bun off the floor as we're leaving and throw it at him.
Okay, roll a throw for me, please.
Oh no.
Remember that skill from episode 1.
Uh-huh. Oh no. No, it's better than it was, but it's still not a good throw.
Okay, so it's more like a tantrum, like a kind of throw. He completely ignores it, and he starts marching you back to the tavern. He opens the door, and every single one of you, he forcibly pushes you in.
Oh gosh.
And then he just
has a bit of a hard time forcibly moving Aethelfrith.
Yeah, I mean,
not terribly. It's like
he tries to, but it's like hitting a brick wall. It's So he encourages, he pushes Thorn and Lady Alys in, but Aethelfrith he kind of encouraged.
He saw the arm wrestle in that.
Yeah, and you get pushed back in. The tavern is a rush. Rude. Just people whispering in absolute shock, not knowing. You can see Norris. He's got blood pouring from the side of his face as you see bits of wood from a mug has kind of like been impaled. Well, not impaled, but kind of embedded into his face. Everyone's kind of going over. Norris is there, and he's like, I don't know. I was just talking to Fallon, and all of a sudden he went berserk, and he just hit me with the mug and jumped me, and he just...
You think he got possessed?
I don't know. Maybe he did.
That sounds horrid. Oh, you poor thing.
And the other villagers are trying to tend, they're pulling bits out,
Yeah, if
splinters.
they're tending to it, Aethelfrith will just go to a corner and pull out some... She's gonna make everybody some feel-good carbs.
Okay.
Lady Alys will be trying to help with the first aid.
Okay, roll me a first aid, please.
Okay. Oh, that's a very good success. I aid that brilliant. In a first way.
So, the people that are doing it they're more busy just getting the stuff out. You yourself, you get ready with some bandages, and you're there and you're cleaning the wounds and making sure they don't get infected, making sure every little piece of wood and splinter is out. It takes a bit of time. You get some tweezers to do it, and you do a pretty good job. Even at some point, they give you a needle and thread, and you get small stitches just to try and help close it up.
I was always good at this at needlework. There you go. See, that's delicate. You'll still have a tiny scar, but just a little one. Are you feeling better?
Thank you. Oh, yes, thank you.
I'm so glad.
And he, kind of semi-embarrassed, but semi-kind of just in pain, he kind of just gets up and heads to the side. He gets some bread and he just starts eating. Everyone kind of, again, in the end, there's kind of like a shock. Aethelfrith, this is a complete anomaly.
It is.
Everyone gets on
Thorn's
with everyone.
There.
I'm
feeling mightily oppressed right now.
He's terrible at it, and
this type of thing
these aren't the
normally
good kinds
happen.
of knights. They're not like Sanah and the noble.
Oh,
I always read
terrible.
stories
I'm
about...
just kneading dough. It's so awful.
I always read stories about knights who weren't quite, good. But it was always terribly romantic. It wasn't like this.
He didn't hurt you when he shoved you, did you, Lady Alys?
Only a little bit.
It will be noted.
And I'll sit down next to Aethelfrith and I'll pull out some clay from the pouch and I'll start very seriously moulding something.
You muted, Tom.
Can you roll me an arts craft?
Oh, this is gonna go well. Okay. Oh no.
Okay.
What are you? To be honest,
what are you making?
I am making the shooting star.
Okay,
to
you're making
aid
the
with
shooting star.
making wishes come true.
Okay, so in your eyes, you're making a perfect shooting star. For everyone else, it just looks like a dick.
You know,
yeah,
it's a mighty coincidence those knights just happened to show up the night there was a murder, don't you think? And now there's more blood on the snow.
You're not
riling
saying
up
that
everyone.
They're the ones responsible, are you?
Well, it looks like they're trying to frame the villagers, right? And they want to keep us all cooped up so no one can get out and tell people what the knights are up to here. I think we got to be very careful. There might be a massacre.
Oh, not a massacre. That would be awful.
Oh, it's French.
A French massacre?
Yes.
Is that different? Is there garlic?
Sounds less effective. Well, maybe they let a few of us live. Or maybe they'll surrender if we put up a fight.
Sarcastically.
Aethelfrith, you see your mother come over. She's got an incredibly worried look in her eye.
Oh, Mum. Today's just gone awful.
Oh, it's been terrible. It's been so terrible. Look, Aethelfrith, come over here. Come with the villagers. And she gives a very dirty eye to Thorn and Lady Alys.
Scoop up the baking tray. Move it over. It's a small line. I imagine it's just the next table.
It's not particularly. Yeah, it's literally the next table. It's barely that. Over. Yeah. And she kind of gets down and she passes you kind of again the same thing you have for breakfast, kind of like a stew kind of thing for you to eat. And she goes, I don't want you hanging out with, just hanging around with those. Ever since they've come in, everything has gone to hell.
Everything's gone to hell in a handbasket real fast, but is it them or is it those knights that came in afterwards? Because it was fine, they were here all afternoon, and then at night, those other knights came in, the French ones, and then there was a murder.
I don't know. All I know is that they're not one of us.
It's true. Oh, there's more and more of us seem to be getting murdered by the minute. Maybe not
getting
the hour
worried.
is more accurate. Oh, don't worry, Mum. I brought us some dough so we can just knead it all out.
Oh, that's my girl. And she kind of squeezes
The older
your
men
rosy
requested
cheeks.
honey wheat, so I brought some honey wheat.
Oh, that's a good girl. We'll stay here.
Figured we could make something a bit sweet for the town after what just happened.
What did you go outside for with those two?
Oh, Lady Alys needed to use a bucket and the ones here were full and I wanted to pick up some dough.
Oh, good. You're such a good girl. Now eat that up because you'll need the strength to get going. And she'll stay around and keep an eye on you. And she's there. She's helping out, but occasionally the eye will turn to Lady Alys and Thorn, a suspicious eye.
I think I pull out like a thimble from a pocket of the apron, and I put a little bit of like the broth soup in there too, and then I pull out Biscuit, my little hedgehog, and I set him on the table and give him the little thimble as like a little hedgehog soup bowl.
He's there licking. He's enjoying it.
He's a very chubby hedgehog.
An all dough diet. Okay. Would any of you like to do anything else?
I look a little apologetically over at Thorn and Lady Alys, like, it's my mum.
Lady Alys, I don't want to worry you or anything, but I'm getting a bit worried. It's not like Sanah to be gone all day and not check in on me.
Oh, do you think we should
normally
search for?
When something happens, I'm there. Now, what if something's happened and I'm not there?
Or maybe something has happened and she's not there.
I hope that's the case, Lady Alys.
Hmm.
It's a lovely thing that you're making.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, I thought we could use some luck, and I'm not really feeling that the tall tower should be used again. And I pull that one out of the bag and smash it.
I don't know.
Okay.
Oh, I thought of a place we could have stuck that, but all right.
All right.
No, I don't want to risk anything getting big.
That's fair.
Okay.
Besides, we've got the shooting star now for wishes. Do you want to give it a rub? It's still a little bit wet, but it should be fine.
I think you should make the first wish, my lady.
All right.
Make it
Okay,
a good one.
I've
Is it a
done
good
it.
one?
Yes.
Good.
Come on, little bullock. It'll be all right.
All right.
Okay.
That one's mum doesn't seem very pleased. Does she?
That's normal. When you go wandering into villages, they don't often like it very much unless you bring a lot of money. You've got... Never mind. I'm
Do
sure
you think I
she'll...
should give her some money? I could do that.
No, Lady Alys. You should keep a hold of that for now.
Oh, okay.
But maybe we should pay her back for the hospitality of letting us use her bucket very briefly, and
yes, that's a good idea.
Supplies. Just a
With
small
money,
amount,
or would she
though.
like a
might
rub
get-
of one of the?
You should offer her a rub, and then if that don't work, then offer her some money, but not too much. She might get offended if you offer too much. Think you're being all ladylike. They don't like that very much.
Gosh, this is a lot to remember. I'll try my best.
Don't oppress the masses.
I walk over to her and go, "Hello, I'm not oppressing you. Would you like to reach into this sack? It's for luck." Am I doing it right?
Who are you doing this to?
To Aethelfrith's mother.
Oh, she turns and looks. Roll me.
Hello.
Oh my.
Works every time.
Roll me a charm. Roll me a charm.
50% of the time, it
You're
works
trying to-
every time.
You're trying to.
Used
No,
this one
actually, a
before.
fast talk because this isn't. This is
Oh,
like
God.
a. Oh God! Do you want to? Not sure. Oh, I don't.
26. I mean, it's not a pass.
You can spend luck if you want.
I could spend luck.
That could be a lot of luck depending on your fast talk skill.
Yeah, I think it's funnier for me to not.
Okay.
Because that's apparently what I'm playing for now. This is a comedy at this side of the show.
She turns, and you can quite clearly see the resemblance to Aethelfrith. It's just a little older, a little greyer. The cheeks aren't quite so rosy. She looks at you, and she straightens up, and she goes, "No, thank you."
Oh, all right then. Would you like some money instead? To say thank you for the bucket.
And she looks.
I'm not
at
suppressing
Aethelfrith.
you, am I?
No, thank you. We earn our money here.
Oh, with the bread. Oh, it's terribly nice. Well done.
She nods.
And I'll just let this awkward pause hang for a second.
All you can hear is Aethelfrith just with the dog going.
So, have you always baked?
She turns. Yes. What do you want? Are you after bread? There's plenty of bread to go around. You don't need to suck up to me.
Oh no, I just wanted you to stop making that face at me. I thought you were cross.
I'm not cross.
Oh, good. Oh, all right then.
She
Goodbye.
daggers at you.
Oh, she turned out to be actually quite lovely, and that's just what her face looks like, Thorn.
Sourdough, is that what she's making?
Maybe with that face.
It's all right, Lady Alys. You sit with me. Maybe we should just go up to our room.
Oh, yes, that's a good idea.
Bit quieter up there. You can concentrate on your arts and your crafts.
Oh, should I make another one?
I think so, while we're waiting.
All right, then. Maybe you could try.
I would like that very much. I think I could be very accomplished in the making of things.
Oh, let's go and do that, then. You've got to make your own fun when you're locked in.
So you two head to
So the
your
government
room.
tells me.
You stay inside and you make dicks.
Stay alert!
You head to your room. This isn't a two-story. It's all on the same floor. It's only just one floor, but it's essentially just kind of like down this corridor, and then you're into your room. But Thorn, could you roll me a arts and craft for me, please?
All right. Yes, I can, but I guess it doesn't take my specialism in arts and crafts.
Unless it's like, unless it's sculpt or anything like that.
No. Okay.
You never know.
I will spend the 8 points to make that a success.
Okay, what are you making?
All right. So Thorn starts out with this lump, and she's seen many of Lady Alys's masterpieces, and she begins to draw it out in length, and then roll it, and then curl it in on itself so it starts to look like a snail a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then she looks at it, and she's kind of like, I don't want that. And she smashes it with her fist. Takes a breath, looks towards the window. If only Sanah were here. Rolls it back up. And she will make a bowl, and then a little set of grapes to sit in the bowl, and then a couple of little longy curled shapes, which would be bananas if Thorn knew what a banana was, and then a couple of little apples. Mm-hmm. It's a fruit bowl. She'll hold it out.
Oh, never mind. It's a very good try for your first attempt, but you have to remember, you mustn't feel bad about it, because I've been doing this for such a long time. You'll get the hang of it.
I was thinking, harvest of plenty and all, but all right, I'll try again. Smash!
It actually looked pretty nice.
Yep.
Back to rolling it like this.
So you two spend, God knows how many hours playing
Crafts
with dough.
Club.
Crafts class. Back out in the field.
Oh God, with the Hufflepuffs.
We're all just playing with dough, making things.
Just glue and safety scissors.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, with the plot.
Julian is approaching slowly with his weapon drawn along with George. Now put down your weapons.
I've definitely dropped the knife is
Yeah.
out of my hand. The father is, on one knee. Heavenly Father, protect me.
Sanah hasn't dropped her sword. Her arm is down. It's not raised in a violent way. It's almost down and back. But she has one hand up, and she's saying, "Look, this. He was buried under the snow, and then he sprang back up and attacked the father. I mean, look at his leg."
He turns and looks at the leg, and there is obviously a visible bite. And is this true, Father?
Yes, Sir Knight. Some foul magic is at play. Some witchcraft or trickery fell upon us. He was not as he seems.
He pauses. Father, if you could approach us slowly, please.
My leg.
And he looks at Bram, and Bram, who's been essentially praying this whole time, gets a nudge, and he stops and looks, and Julian kind of nudges him to approach Father, and he comes over and gives you a helping hand up to head back. George is there. He's got his hand on his sword hilt, just eyeing you up, Sanah, just constantly. And Julian comes down and has a look at the wound. And it is quite a deep wound. He really did get a chunk of flesh. And he leans in. Father, tell me what happened. It's like a whisper.
He was dead, and then suddenly some strange, unholy life was in his eyes. It was unholy, nothing like I've ever seen before in all of my years. It sprang at us like a devil. Chewed up half my leg before Sanah managed to end its life, but it survived more blows than any man alive could. And then it spoke to me. Some eldritch, arcane voice. Satan himself. It said, release. And then, as I opened my eyes before me, it was as you see him now, a mortal man. With all of his life blood on the floor, as though he had been living this entire time, but my eyes, they did not deceive me. There was some magic upon him, I'm certain of it. If it were not for this night, I would be dead.
Roll me a religion. I feel more appealing to his religious side, rather than just persuasion. This is like using
it's
his
a
faith.
success, and there is some real conviction in Father Benedictus's eyes, where usually there isn't that much.
He pauses for a moment and then stands. Blum, take the father back to the tavern and get someone to tend his wounds. And he knows. Right you are. Come on, father. And he puts his arm around and he starts helping you back.
Son.
Julian and George just remain, swords still drawn, looking at Sir Sanah. You, Sir Knight, tell me what happened.
We were searching the outskirts of the village. Saw his body in the snow, buried. Began to dig it out. Father identified him as Jim. And as I was digging, he sprang to life with this unnatural movement like a beast. Launched himself at me. Was on my back, I had to fight him off. He went from the father, he stuck his mouth on his leg and bit, and I tried to pull him off, and it only made it worse. But I hit him with the shield, the father hit him with the knife twice in the back of the neck, and it did nothing. It was only when I finally got my sword into his back that he stopped. Then you arrived.
He approaches the body and goes down and examines it. The only two wounds seem invisible is the dagger through the eye, through the side of the face, through the eye, and the big plunge of your sword through the back. Everything else seems like normal flesh. Mm-hmm. And you'll say you struck him many times.
That's right.
I see. He stands. You will have to come back with us. We will have to take your sword.
Well, I don't think so. No way. There is something in this village, and I will not be disarmed for it.
He pauses, and his hand is like on the hilt of his sword, and his face seems torn. And he approaches. So George kind of like steps forward as if to kind of warn him, but he pats it away, and he gets close, and quite close to almost be a whisper. Who am I to trust? This makes no sense.
You're damn right it makes no sense. How does a dead man come back to life? How is a woman ripped apart in the village?
I do not know. All I do know is that my men are trustworthy. And you are not my man.
I swore the same vows you did. Took the same oaths. My sword is anointed by the same oils as yours.
Roll me a persuasion with advantage.
Okay. Wait, I have 2 crits. I'll use a crit.
Okay, brilliant. He looks at you. I do not know why, but I have faith. I have faith in you. You did find him, and whatever is happening, I think you might be vital in finding out what. And your story is similar to that of the father, and I do not believe he is a murderer. Come. Let us head back to the tavern and discuss what we have found. He pauses and looks at the body, and there's almost like a revulsion with it. Leave the body for the crows. And start walking towards the village.
She follows. Cass one look back at not quite zombie Jim, wipes his blood from her sword, sheaths it, and walks back.
Okay. And that is where we'll end tonight's episode.
Thank you.
Why do I feel like me and Susie drew the short end of the stick this episode?
Right, for the record, we did try and make it to the plot, but the man with the sharp sword said no.
Man with the
It's
sharp sword said we
all
had
to
to
do
make
with the
dicks,
plot.
so, you know.
What are you
You
gonna
know.
do?
I assure you it's all to do with the plot.
So speaking of the man with the sword, let's go around in the opposite direction from the way we did intros. What you're looking forward to next week and where we can find you online, all of that good stuff. Tom.
Hi. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Kind of thought I'd ramp it up a little bit this episode. But yeah, I assure you everything it's all there. Don't worry, you're not being left out. It's all part of the plot. It's all part of the grand plan. I'm winging it. But yes, I am Hotflakes Tom. You can find me on Twitter, on Discord, and everything like that. I am also part of After the Fire, which is on Thursdays. We are on our end of season break so far. We haven't decided when we're going to be coming back, but on Thursday, I think it's 8 o'clock.
Yep.
It's going to be GMT. And 3 o'clock Eastern, I believe. There will be a Q&A with our lovely dungeon master or keeper, Sam, who is the mastermind behind After the Fire. We'll be taking a lot of questions, so you don't want to miss that out. And that's on Follow Black Cats. But yeah, that's it. That's it from me. I'll be here next week to continue the terror and horror that is Pendragon's Parish.
I am looking forward very much to making gifs of the faces of us in horror at your very visceral descriptions of Zombie Jim. One of the slayers of Zombie Jim, Will. How you doing?
Yeah, it was a little tough there. A little little close, actually, if we're being honest. But hey, thank you to chat, rather, for all of those crits today. Else, I definitely would have taken a little bit more damage, I think. Could have even died there. But hey, we made it through, and the father is going to be sticking away from any combat in the future and just letting these youthful fools go ahead into danger if he can. But we'll see. We'll see. I had a whole lot of fun. I'm super excited for next week. The difference between the two groups was a lot of fun to watch. So as soon as things got crazy with us, it was fun to get back into the madness with the other group. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. If you want to follow what we're up to, follow all the kind of roleplay stuff. You can also follow some of the stuff I'm up to on the Kobold Press Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/Kobold Press. But yeah, I had a lot of fun. Can't wait for next week. And thank you guys in chat and in the comments on the YouTube channel for all the support. We'd really appreciate it.
We definitely do. And if you've made it this far in your VOD watching over on YouTube, why don't you leave us a comment? Do you prefer Team Zombie Gym or Team Fun Arts and Crafts? Let us know. If you're enjoying it, just give us a thumbs up, a like, and a follow. We appreciate you very much. And someone else I appreciate very much is my ridiculous but wonderful friend, Millie. Hi.
Hello. Hi. I swear to you that her bag of stuff was a thing that just happened by accident when we were rolling this character up. This was not an intentional bag of dicks. This bag of dicks just occurred. And you know that's going to be... Yeah, well, dicks do sometimes just happen, and you've got to roll with it. I swear though, it's not Team Zombie Gym, is it? It's Team Plot. It's Team Plot or Team Dicks right now. That's it. But when I'm not here, apparently just sidetracking the plot entirely and making things ludicrous. You can find me over on Table Story on Fridays, doing Facade, which is getting proper scary now. It's getting all weird. And I should be doing some streaming at some point, but as you can see, the streaming room is a little sparse right now, but it is happening. So you can find me over on Twitter and here on Twitch as Amelia Tyler, and I'll keep you posted. I'm not going to make you promises I can't keep. And yeah, there will be more dicks. That's a promise. Right,
I don't know if it's on sale on Steam at the moment, but keep an eye out for it when it does go on sale, as it inevitably will during this whole thing. But Divinity Original Sin 2, Millie is a million voices in there, and every time I load it up, I'm like, is that Millie? And I know there is one lady in a bucket room, that's how I will phrase this, who is voiced by Millie in that game. So see if you can find that. Check out Divinity Original Sin 2, and check out all of Millie's other projects when she gets to talk about them, because they are always a lot of fun.
There might be something coming.
Happy Wiggle. Speaking of Happy Wiggles, hi Susie.
Hi. I got to fight a zombie gym today. And you know, as always is the case for Sanah, the dice betray her every single time. But we did it. But she's definitely going to need some of Aethelfrith's sweet buns after that to cure a little bit of the melancholy after being accused of a murder she didn't do. But I loved it. This is a really good session. I can't wait for next week and for this mystery and this plot to develop further. But as for me, you can find me all over the internet at Susanna Grace. I'm a variety streamer. I do video games. I do art streams. I do tabletop RPGs. My power cables literally arrived during the stream, so art streams will be back very soon. So keep an eye out for that. The next time you'll probably see me is on my channel playing Siege, Rainbow Six Siege, probably on Friday with Virginia for Fragging Fridays. And then next week on Encounter, you will see me on Dr. RPG on Monday and back here.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. Is Lindy frozen? Nope, she's there. She blinked. Thanks so much for your lovely buns, Lindy.
Thank you. You know, buns are lovely. I had a lot of fun with Team Arts and Crafts, Team Molding Dough. I don't know. Buckets were used. Feelings were oppressed. We tried to do things, and then there was a belt sword, and you know, well, I thought I might be able to take him, it's just, you know, that he has friends, and I can't take all of them too. So I'll just bake sad, sugary carb things for when everybody else gets back to the inn. I can be like, here, have a sad bun. But yeah, you can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I play in and GM a lot of tabletop RPGs. You can find me on my channel in about 4 hours from now for some Ravenloft D&D. It's gonna be exciting. Big fight tonight. You can also find me on Wednesday evenings on Tales from the Grim playing Witcher, which is also grim, dark, and awful. And you can find me on Saturdays now. I've just started up a pirate campaign we're using Powered by the Apocalypse system on Wandering DM. That's in the afternoons. So it's a lot of scurvy fun. And that's me.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for being here, whether you're in chat or in the cast. Please stay tuned, however, because coming up immediately after this, in about 5 minutes, as I do the changeover, will be Last Horizon, which is our Coriolis game. Very excited. They're doing a space heist tonight, so stay tuned for smuggling fun. Last week, someone got a power gauntlet to the face. Someone else got killed. It was dramatic. And tonight they're stealing things. So that is coming up next. I think Thorn lent today that maybe we need to dial in a little bit on the formula, but we're on the right track with what we're making here. And also, I have a nemesis to carve into some clay as I make a rudimentary Dark Ages dole of pain for that knight that pushed around my fair lady, who I am solely responsible for in the absence of Sanah. Much love to all of you. We have a killer week this week on Encounter Roleplay, as usual, including an extra one-shot on Thursday at 6 p.m. for Helmgast.
Oh, yeah.
As we play their Kickstarter, Troubleshooters, which is a 1960s action espionage game inspired by comic books. And I get like Pink Panther meets Man from Uncle kind of vibes from it. It's a little bit cartoony, but it's also got that quirky, fun, James Bond tongue-in-cheek humor going on. So please do stop by. It's a killer cast. We've got Pruitt, Lindy, Lydia Heels, and Kate Madison from The Wall playing, and the wonderful Mitch is our guest DM. So we will see you very soon. Coming up shortly, as I said, that sci-fi adventure, Coriolis Last Horizon. Stay tuned. We'll see you soon.